I have a film club at home, so I invite a lot of friends and
really?
Yeah, we do like retrospective on filmmakers. हाँ जी, तो हम Dune से पहले सारे उस filmmaker के हमने सारी फिल्में देखी। Villeneuve की हमने सारी फिल्में देखी थी।
ये तो काफी सही, अब मैं भी invite हो रहा हूँ ना आपसे।
100%. When Bong Joon-ho in fact won Academy for Parasite, तो उस हफ्ते हमने भी celebrated Bong Joon-ho. So that weekend we watched Mother and Memories of a Murder.
ये कौन सा friends group है? मेरे दोस्त मना कर देते हैं मेरे को।
जब आप फिल्म देखने जाएं, 2 घंटे की 2.5 घंटे की फिल्म देख रहे हैं, 3 मिनट और रुक जाइए और एंड क्रेडिट्स देखिए। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इफ यू आर अ ट्रू फिल्म लवर, प्लीज स्टे बैक एंड वॉच एंड क्रेडिट्स। बहुत लोग लगते हैं टू मेक अ फिल्म, इट टेक्स रियली अ विलेज to get a film made, and there are a lot of people who are just, they don't know you worked on a project. Please stay back and watch the credits for the crew members. Cinema is based on feelings, as technical as it is, whatever it looks like, whatever the actors are wearing, whatever the sets are, it's based on feelings, and if you're not feeling it here as an audience, it's not working.
Alright, Shweta, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure. We've been talking to each other for such a long time on Instagram, and it's so nice to finally see you in person.
Likewise, Harshit, I'm such an admirer of humans of cinema, and I'm just so happy to be here.
I'm so happy because I've seen that not just with humans of cinema, but with so many film pages you engage so regularly. You also share your own recommendations, and like it shows, it reflects through, you know, that you are such a big cinephile yourself.
Thank you.
And it's honestly, it's kind of refreshing to see, you know, like an actor actually engaging with you know, the film community, and because it happens very rarely. I mean, where does this love for cinema come for you?
It's very sad that, you know, it's rare कि actors film buff होते हैं या cinephiles होते हैं. I think one should be engaged in. It's our industry, it's our job. And for me, I'm an audience first and an actor after that, or anything that I do with the business after that. Because जितने भी मैं scripts choose करती हूँ या projects में engage करती हूँ, it all comes from an audience perspective first.
Correct.
If I don't want to watch it, I don't see the reason why I should be part of it. और अगर मुझे कोई काम अपना खुद का पसंद नहीं आया, I don't see why you should watch it or anybody should watch it. So, I mean, every project has its own fate, but the least we can do is try to pick the best project, or, you know, try to pick something new or something interesting, and I think that can only develop when you have a taste as an audience. तो बहुत ज़रूरी है हर टाइप के फिल्म्स देखना, जैसे ज़रूरी है हर टाइप के म्यूज़िक सुनना, हर जगह ट्रैवल करना. Similarly, I think cinema also, it's important to watch all kind of films. It's not like, you know, you watch, I think there was a post that in fact HOC had shared that we engage in only one kind of films and we negate other kinds of films. I think you guys had shared last year sometime or 2 years ago. And I completely believe that. I think a lot of new age cinephiles disregard Indian cinema because they watch a lot of world cinema and they think Indian films अच्छे नहीं है, but they haven't seen enough Indian films. तो ज़रूरी है हर तरह की फिल्में देखना, पुरानी हिंदी फिल्में देखना, रीजनल फिल्में देखना, वर्ल्ड सिनेमा देखना, हॉलीवुड देखना, ब्रिटिश फिल्म्स देखना, every kind engaging in different kinds of art also. I think to watch plays, to read, to even just as a community, as an artist, you know, I think it's important to engage, because the more you watch, the more you realize you have to watch so much more. So, and you know, you're also exposed to different kinds of storytellings, different kinds of acting, different kind of actors, film and treatments. और फिर उस तरह से जैसे आप कोई फिल्म आपके पास ऑफर होती है, स्क्रिप्ट आता है, तो आप आपका पर्सपेक्टिव फ्रेश लेंस से आप देखते हो. So I think it's important to do that.
Acha, if you have to, for example, tell people, because I think a lot of people are also just confused about कि how do we become like, you know, better film watchers, या फिर हम कैसे और ज़्यादा फिल्में देखें. मतलब how has your journey been with respect to just discovering more films, becoming a part of conversations about film watching, etc.
Well, for me it started at home because my mom is a movie buff. And my dad had his own theatre group. He did direction and acting diploma from Shri Ram Centers, Delhi, and he had his own theatre group. He still does in Jamshedpur. And मैंने कभी theatre में actively काम नहीं किया. I've never been on stage as an actor. I would like to at some point. लेकिन मैंने हमेशा reading, blocking, discussion on literature, discussion on plays, since the age of 2-3 देखा है, and my mom is a huge movie buff. I was named after Shweta Bachchan, so
Really?
yeah, तो that level, like हमारे घर पे कभी ऐसा नहीं था कि सिनेमा खराब है या खराब इन्फ्लुएंस है, क्योंकि हम अच्छी फिल्में देखते थे बचपन से. Like I've seen Goopy Gain Baga Bain when I was a kid. My earliest introduction to cinema was Rishikesh Mukherjee films, you know, my खूबसूरत हो गया या गोलमाल हो गया या like I said Goopy Gain Baga Bain or मेरा नाम जोकर by Raj Kapoor.
Yeah.
So I was always engaged in very good films. I used to watch a lot of movies, ask a lot of questions. In fact, when Makdi was offered, my mom made me watch Masoom, Shekhar Kapoor's Masoom.
Okay.
And as a 10-year-old, I didn't know who was Shabana Azmi. You know, I knew who was
Yeah.
Karisma Kapoor and who's Aishwarya Rai, who's Kareena Kapoor.
Yeah.
But as a 10-year-old, I didn't know who's Shabana Azmi, and she made me watch Masoom, and she said, you want to work with her, so you should
Wow.
know. And then I met her on set, and I'm like, ये तो बिल्कुल because
Not
she
the
was with
same,
her
not the
get up,
same.
with the witch get
Yeah,
up. and I
she was much sweeter to kids in that film.
yeah. So yeah, and I mean now of course. So yeah, I think it started with that. Parents encouraged me to attend film festivals. I used to watch a lot of films, like Schindler's List discuss hota tha घर पे.
Wow.
And so I think
What a
that
house.
yeah, so a lot of literature, classical music, plays, cinema was actors were always discussed. It was a very healthy discussion. हमारे घर पे ये नहीं होता था कि इंडस्ट्री वाले कितने खराब है, ये देखो कैसा न्यूज़ आ रहा है, ये बातें नहीं होती थी. सिनेमा की, आर्ट की बातें होती थी. एंड आई डू इनकरेज पेरेंट्स जो भी देख रहे हैं और जो भी एल्डर्स हैं कि आप अगर सिनेमा की डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं, सिनेमा की डिस्कशन कीजिए, बिकॉज कई बार एक बड़ा ही जेनेरिक डिस्कशन होता है हमारी इंडस्ट्री के बारे में एंड बहुत ही जनरलाइज किया जाता है एंड अ लॉट ऑफ आर्ट इज सैक्रिफाइस्ड इन दैट. सो ग्लैडली आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू माय पेरेंट्स दैट दे वर आई थिंक क्वाइट अहेड ऑफ देयर टाइम.
Wow. And then as you grew up, how did you then keep on discovering new films? How did you?
Well, I think late teens मैंने film festivals attend करना शुरू कर दिया था. I was attending Mami in Bombay. I would sometimes go with my friends to other towns and catch films, attend movies, screenings. बहुत सारे दोस्त अपने घर पे movie screenings रखते थे. I have a film club at home, so I invite a lot of friends and
really?
We do like retrospective on filmmakers. हाँ जी, तो हम in fact Dune से पहले सारे उस फिल्म मेकर के हमने सारी फिल्में विलेनिव की हमने सारी फिल्में देखी थी. सो वी डू दैट,
ये तो काफी सही. अब मैं भी इनवाइट हो रहा हूँ ना आपसे.
100% whenever you're in Bombay, please do come home. तो when Bong Joon-ho in fact won Academy for Parasite, तो उस हफ्ते हमने we celebrated Bong Joon-ho, so that weekend we watched Mother and Memories of a Murder. And
ये कौन सा फ्रेंड्स ग्रुप है? मेरे दोस्त मना कर देते हैं मेरे को.
ये हमारा cinephile group है. And even after the film we sit and we talk about the film, we deconstruct the performance, and in fact I write a lot of essays. अगर मुझे कोई फिल्म बहुत पसंद है तो I journal my favorite parts about the film or what I didn't like about the film. In fact, during lockdown, I did an entire essay on Shabana Azmi. बहुत time था, so I watched her some 10 films back to back, and I wrote some 16-20 pages of essay on just her performance.
And did you publish that anywhere?
No, it's I have a notebook and it's
it needs to go out.
I would bring it out. Because so many years, a lot of people have been worked with Shabana Azmi in your first film.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I watched her film, I'm like, I've worked with her, and I have so many questions to ask her now. So I think discovering films, सबसे पहले तो जब आप फिल्म देखने जाएं, आप 2 घंटे की 2.5 घंटे की फिल्म देख रहे हैं, 3 मिनट और रुक जाइए और एंड क्रेडिट्स देखिए. First of all, if you're a true film lover, please stay back and watch end credits. बहुत लोग लगते हैं to make a film. It takes really a village to get a film made, and there are a lot of people who are just, it's sad to say, but a thankless job, because a lot of people don't even watch it, your names, and they don't know you worked on a project. Please stay back and watch the credits for the crew members. Watch film interviews, watch roundtable interviews, watch follow Humans of Cinema and be updated with a lot of film recommendations. Attend film festivals. I think film festivals attend करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, because आप बहुत टाइप के films देखोगे. आपकी जो एक like what happened with OTT, you know, the general audience who were watching one kind of films, they started watching so many kinds of documentaries, they started watching so many kinds of films, और बहुत सारे स्पेनिश फिल्म्स, कोरियन ड्रामा, इतनी सारी भी आ गए बिकॉज योर इट्स अवेलेबल है. तो अगर आपके पास टाइम है, इफ यू हैव वीकेंड ऑफ, जस्ट please watch film festivals. I think every city, every town mostly has film festivals. If you can go, last year I was in Goa, I went to attend IFFI Film Festival because India lockdown was screening there, but apart from that I was watching it because a lot of film festivals also have a lot of panel discussions of the future of cinema, of like I attended Anil Mehta's panel about he's a cinematographer, very very celebrated cinematographer, and he was talking about how he did the opening shots of Sui Dhaga, which was you know, single shot, that you know how he did it, and the opening of Badlapur. तो वो सिंगल शॉट था, पुणे में शूट किया था, एंड यू नो दैट होल चेज गाड़ी के अंदर. इट्स अमेजिंग बिकॉज एज एन एक्टर और एज एन ऑडियंस आई थिंक इट चेंजेस योर पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ हाउ यू सी अ फिल्म, एंड वो आपको टेक्निकली थोड़ा सा एजुकेट कर देता है. और जब आप टेक्निकली एंगेज हो जाते हैं ना, इट्स लाइक मैथ्स, इट्स लाइक साइंस. When you know the formula and you know what works, you just become so much more interested in it. So I think exposing yourself to films, to film discussions, panels, there are a lot of workshops that FTII does, that film division does, that NFDC does, that SRFTI does.
हमने भी शुरू किया था बीच में film appreciation का course.
Yeah, film appreciation, I think HOC was doing. A lot of people do it, so I think follow the right hashtags, follow the right film pages, and I think that's the way. I think just keep watching films, keep engaging in audience, have the right group. So I hope that
helps. He's spoken like a true cinephile, मतलब honestly. अच्छा लग रहा था सुनता हुए भी.
Thank you.
It's like poetry for us. Okay, so if you have to say just a few films, if you have to recommend to people, या फिर recommendation से पहले just do you have like one film or a couple of films that have had the deepest influence on your life?
I think I'll okay, let's start with the first film that had the deep influence on me. It was Rishikesh Mukherjee's Khoobsurat. I think I watched it when I was very very young. I was a kid, and it changed the way I mean, not changed, matlab kya, tab I was just discovering cinema at that age, but it really formed a certain kind of storytelling in my head. You know, it was so simple.
Right.
There's this song in Khoobsurat which is Piya Bavari, and it really got me interested in classical music. I mean, there's classical music a lot. My maternal uncle, मेरे मामा जी तबला और vocals सीखे थे. He's not professional musician, but हमारे में हम ऐसे ही सीखते हैं classical music. या तो रविंद्र संगीत. तो वैसे एक थोड़ा सा एजुकेशन था घर पे, but listening to such songs, such storytelling, Rekha, and you know, the performances. So I think definitely Khoobsurat has a very very deep impact on me. Another film that made a huge difference to me was, I think it was the first second year जब मैं मामी film festival attend करना शुरू किया था. I watched Blue is the Warmest Color. It's a French film, and it's about two women who are in love. And unfortunately हमारे देश में, या तो जिन फिल्मों को मैंने देखा था उसके पहले, homosexuality was either mocked or it was shown in a very weird light, and it changed my perspective that this also can be story about, you know, about two people from the same gender loving each other. And I realized how deeply cinema can impact you, and cinema can be used as a point of reference a lot of times. You know, आप कोई फिल्म देखते हैं, आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा subconsciously उसने कहीं ना कहीं, उस फिल्म ने आपको कहीं पर इम्पैक्ट किया है. अगर उस चीज़ ने कोई चीज़ कैजुअली दिखाई है तो आपको वो इम्पैक्ट करेगा, और वो आपका वे ऑफ थिंकिंग, वे ऑफ स्पीच, वे ऑफ हैबिट, बिहेवियर बन सकता है. नॉट लार्जली बट वेरी वेरी इन अ स्मॉल वे. तो मेरे लिए Blue is the Warmest Color was a huge lesson, and I felt quite ashamed, and I was in my late teens or whatever, so I was like, I never thought, you know, it can be an emotional drama in someone's life, because उसके पहले हमने बस मजाक उड़ाया था उस चीज़ का हमारी फिल्म्स में, and you know, it was shown in a very not so great light. I think now it has changed a lot more. So definitely blue is the warmest color. Rang De Basanti. The music, the camaraderie, the characters. I think हमने फिल्मों में यूजुअली हीरो देखा है, हीरोइन देखी है और फिर हीरो का दोस्त हीरोइन की बहन देखी है मोस्टली यू नो इन कमर्शियल
उस टाइम तक
बॉलीवुड
डेफिनेटली 2007
हाँ 2006 की बात है आई थिंक 2006 या 7
yeah.
रंग दे बसंती सो आई थिंक that whole thing that you know these are characters and they all have a backstory and you know they are all driven by a purpose in their life and every character in the film had something to contribute to the storytelling and not just one person running the show and you know बाकी लोग उस character को contribute कर रहे they were all contributing to the story so I think that left a huge impact and after that it's just been journey
what border
border
we have संदेश से आते हैं playing the background right now by the way so और ये वैसे काफी टाइम बाद शायद 2-3 हफ्ते बाद रिलीज होने वाला है तो आई जस्ट वांट टू लेट यू गाइस नो दैट आज 15 अगस्त है और यहाँ पे पीछे देशभक्ति के गाने चल रहे हैं बहुत सारे and we are talking about रंग दे बसंती
we are talking about रंग दे
how interesting
yeah so I think these 3 films largely
nice and you were also talking about Guppy Gayan so I would love to of course talk about Satyajit Ray what has been his influence on your life
Satyajit Ray, not just his films but also the man himself. I think बहुत कम ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो आते हैं and as the way they carry themselves and the life they have lived entirely affects you because कुछ लोगों के सिर्फ काम affect करते हैं कुछ लोगों के the way they think and the person they are वो affect करते हैं. I'm a huge fan of Satyajit Ray's writings also. I highly recommend Satyajit Ray's short stories that he's written and in fact E.T. by Steven Spielberg was indirectly inspired by Satyajit Ray's short story called Alien. Do look this up, it's out there and in fact I think he had a fleshed out script that he was supposed to make.
It was there in Hollywood.
Exactly. So please do read Satyajit Ray's short stories, his articles. There's a book called Speaking of Films, which is it's a compilation of all the articles he's written on cinema. Again, highly recommended. And his films, it's like you know, it's इतने सारे genre में उन्होंने films बनाई हैं. His struggle to make his first film, Pathe Panchali. And working with the great Pandit Ravi Shankar on the soundtrack of that film. I think his interviews have impacted me, his films have impacted me. Guppy Gayan Bagabain back then was made with no VFX, no computer graphics. He used to edit his films himself, I think. So yeah, I think his passion towards his films has had a huge impact on me. In fact, I was so happy when I was working on Ray,
that's
what
I was just going to say. You work now there, acted in a short.
I know. I've acted in an anthology that's called Ray, so I'm like very happy.
And you must have read that story as a kid, right?
Of course. No, actually, I read it as an adult. In fact, I read it when the script was offered. It's one of those stories that I had not read, or maybe had read but had a memory refresh ho gaya tha when I read it.
Correct.
And I love it the way it was adapted, and I think a lot of people liked it.
I loved it, यार. I think मैं इतने लोगों को दिखाता हूँ. अभी हम लोग पीछे ये लोग मेरे घर पे थे. I showed them the last sequence. So many people haven't seen it, but it's fantastic.
Thank
the
you.
last 10 minutes, it's almost 10 minutes long.
Yeah. In fact, जब उस sequence की अगर आप लोगों ने देखी है जिसकी हर्षित बात कर रहे हैं, it was a one take, one shot. और उस set पे मैं रेकी के लिए गई थी, technical रेकी के लिए गई थी. श्रीजीत मुखर्जी ने बुलाया था and I scribble and write lot of notes in my script. मेरे notes बिल्कुल sticky notes और writing से भरे होते हैं. So if I show you the script of Ray, there's an entire diagram on the इस side अगर print है, इस side जो blank page है वहाँ पर पूरा diagram मैंने draw किया था कि कहाँ से जाना है, किस point पे रुक के कौन सा dialogue बोलना है, because it was very rehearsed. It was blocked completely. So there was a technical recce, then there was a mock shoot that Ali and I had done. एक दिन rehearsal था और जिस दिन shoot था उस दिन हमने कुछ 20-22 takes किए थे because it was single shot and it was handheld and as glamorous as it looks, but it's a very technical job. What we do, it's a job and lighting, you're hitting the right mark and your audio. saying the lines, saying it for the camera. So I think उसका rehearsal काफी हुआ था, and I'm glad that it's turned out well.
वो सीक्वेंस तो मैं इमेजिन नहीं कर सकता उसको कितना टाइम लगा होगा टू जस्ट कंस्ट्रक्ट इट. इतने सारे लोग, मतलब ऑफ कोर्स देन टू वर्क विद द सेट डिजाइनर एंड टू देन कोऑर्डिनेट विद द सिनेमेटोग्राफर एंड देन द एक्टर्स, लाइक I can't imagine.
It's a collaborative work. It's, as I said, you know, if you sit and watch the end credits, you'll realize how many people work on a films on a film, and हर किसी का contribution invaluable है to make us look the way we are, and the film, the mounting of the film. If you watch, सबसे पहले तो अगर किसी को भी films में interest है, अगर आप interested हैं as an actor, as a storyteller, as a producer, please watch Lagan's making. Go and watch. In Hindi it's called Chale, Chalo, or English में it's called Madness in the Desert. Madness in the Desert. And I think आप बस वो डॉक्यूमेंट्री देख लो, आपको समझ में आ जाएगा फिल्म माउंटिंग, फिल्म मेकिंग कितना मज़ेदार है, कितना टेक्निकल है और कितना डिफिकल्ट है.
Do you think people, a lot of people could become more empathetic towards
100%
cinema if they were working in films?
100%. I think so. Not even working in films. If working in films, I'm sure people understand what it takes. You know, how important. I think उस दिन कोई किसी ने share किया था Instagram पे how important it is for crew members to have the right pair of shoes, because you're standing and running around the whole day. As basic as that. And you know what kind of clothes ADs should wear. I think something as basic as that, boom man, focus pullers, ये इतना technical काम है, क्योंकि कई बार बहुत अच्छा take हो गया but it's not in focus. बहुत अच्छा focus है but we have fumbled and you know the take was not all right, or the boom has come in frame, या तो light दिख गया, या तो हमने mark पे नहीं आए, हम actors हम कभी mark पे नहीं आते तो miss हो गया. It's so technical. I think people who work on the film definitely get more empathetic. So for audience to understand cinema, because it's very easy to just say ये अच्छा नहीं था या बुरा था, हम भी बोलते हैं कि अच्छा नहीं था या बुरा था, but nobody sets out to make a bad film or a bad project. Everyone tries their best to make the best that they can do. It's just that sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work, and that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you have done the film FTI film appreciation workshop as well, right?
Yeah.
What were your takeaways from that? Like, what, and how do you see film appreciation? How important do you think that film appreciation is?
Very very important. मैं आपको बताऊँ, ये 2021 की बात है जब मैंने film appreciation, it was a 5 days short course, online course था, so पुणे जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं थी, मैंने बॉम्बे में अपने घर पे बैठ के ये किया था, and it was during the lockdown, और मुझे लगा lockdown में कुछ productive करते हैं, और तो मैंने ये कोर्स किया, और they made us watch films, then there was a whole discussion, and I kid you not, there were so many non-film folks on that Zoom call. There was a teacher, she's a professor, she's in her 60s, और वो हिंदी साहित्य सिखाती हैं एक यूनिवर्सिटी में दिल्ली में, and she said I want to understand cinema because I want to connect with my students. वो बहुत फिल्में देखते हैं और उनसे बात करने के लिए मुझे समझना है, एंड सिनेमा काफ़ी एम्पैथी और कंपैशन सिखाता है, तो मुझे उसके लिए सीखना है, बिकॉज आई एम अ लिटरेचर टीचर. एक कोई थे जो कॉर्पोरेट फिल्म्स बनाते हैं, एक कोई हैं जो म्यूजिशियन है, एक हाउसवाइफ थी जो ऐसे ही आई थी फिल्म्स अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए. And it's amazing that there were so many different kinds of people who were just understanding cinema. और हम दिन में कुछ 2-4 घंटे, and also the discussion was so healthy, you know, we used to talk about so many things. We watched Requiem for a Dream, and then we watched Social Network. और हमने 1-2 और फिल्में देखी, फिर उसकी हमने मेकिंग देखी, उससे रिलेटेड हमने कई सारी बातें की, what did we feel, हमने कुछ शॉर्ट फिल्म्स देखी, then we deconstructed those short films, and the main idea was it all boiled down to what do you think the filmmaker is trying to say. कि फिल्ममेकर ने ऐसा ये एंगल ही क्यों लगाया, you know, because it's a language from the camera, right? The camera अगर suddenly close up पे गया तो क्यों गया, अगर wide गया तो क्या establish कर रहा था, zoom in क्यों कर रहा है, इस टाइम पे बैकग्राउंड स्कोर क्यों आया, एंड साउंड डिज़ाइन क्या होता है, फोली क्या होता है, तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो टेक्निकल बातें हैं, एंड देन यू जस्ट स्टार्ट नोटिसिंग दोज थिंग्स someone who's working on films, I knew a lot of it, but it was a lot of things I did not know. तो आई थिंक फिल्म अप्रिसिएशन कोर्सेज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट और मज़ेदार भी है, क्योंकि आप जिस तरीके से फिल्म देखते हैं आप बहुत ही अवेयर हो जाएंगे. एंड आई थिंक आई यू नो अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल से दैट ऑडियंस को तो ये चाहिए इसलिए हम ये दे रहे हैं, ऑडियंस ऐसी फिल्में कहाँ देखती है. बट आई थिंक ऑडियंस हर टाइप की फिल्में देखती है और ऑडियंस इतनी इंटेलिजेंट है, दे अंडरस्टैंड एवरीथिंग. आप यू नो यू कांट फूल एन ऑडियंस. आई डोंट थिंक यू एवर कुड. ये बीच में आई थिंक इट वर्कड फॉर फिल्म मेकर्स एंड एक्टर्स एंड स्टार्स एंड द सिस्टम एंड सर्टन एक पैटर्न ऑफ फिल्म्स. तो उन्होंने वैसा बना दिया था कि ऑडियंस को तो ऐसी फिल्में नहीं चाहिए. बट आई मीन why else would Irfan Khan be such a huge star? Why else would Nawazuddin Siddiqui would be a star? Because audience understands performance, they understand good films, they understand great storytelling. So I think for those audience who would like to deeply understand films, should.
Yeah. And there's one more very interesting thing that you did. I spoke to you about it. You did the actors on actors.
Yeah.
And that was such an interesting. I would strongly recommend you guys to check out all the videos that Shweta did back then. So this was during the lockdown. And
during the first lockdown, 2020.
Yeah.
And it's a vlog series that I was doing called Actors on Actor, where I would invite an actor friend और हम उनकी favorite performances of their favorite actors we would talk about. So my first episode was with Raghuveer Yadav ji, and we spoke about Balraj Sahni. So we spoke about Do Bigha Zameen and Kabuliwala. And it was also like a lot of people would then get to watch those films or they would know about those films. तो वैसे मैंने 6-7 episodes किए थे. In fact, I do want to make it into a talk show someday.
You really should. You really have to. And also just one episode. There was one episode with Piyush Mishra.
Yeah, on Ranbir
Kapoor.
Yeah.
मतलब आप लोगों को लगेगा कि मतलब हम लोग की मतलब इन्होंने सिर्फ बिल्कुल ऐसे आर्ट हाउस एक्टर्स की बात करी होगी. ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. The Piyush Mishra episode was about Ranbir Kapoor, and it's one of the most insightful conversations that you will ever see about Ranbir Kapoor, I think.
Thank you.
It was so good.
Thank you so much.
You used to work as a script consultant, right?
Yeah.
Before at Phantom.
That's right.
So could you just talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think that was my film school, working at Phantom Films. It was after my graduation. I graduated in mass media and journalism, so I studied media. I'm a journalist by qualification. And I used to write columns, and I was making my documentary film around that time about the dying visibility of Indian classical music. And जो मैंने खुद produce किया था, research किया था, and I was making it at that point. And मेरा interest थोड़ा behind the camera चला गया था, because I was not sure if I want to act, because there was a long break after Iqbal. Correct. And parents were very strict about definitely finishing my graduation and studies complete.
You had won a national award for Iqbal, huh?
For Makdi. Yes.
For Makdi, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. After around that time when I was making the documentary, I used to work at Phantom Films. This was in 2015, 14 actually. 14, 15 and 16 के शुरू में I quit the job because I got acting opportunities. But it was a great space to learn, because I was working under Vikramaditya Motwani. He was my mentor, and I was working in research and development under Neha Sinha, who was my immediate boss. And I was a script consultant, which means I was reading screenplays, synopses, treatments on an everyday basis, which has contributed greatly to my sense of picking scripts today as an actor. And I also assisted Anurag Kashyap on a short film called Clean Shaven, which starred, it was
with Radhika
Apte, Satyajit Mishra and Adarsh Gaurav.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was 1 हफ्ते 10 दिन का काम था. मैं बहुत खराब एडी थी, मुझे कुछ नहीं आता था. I think by the time shoot खत्म हुआ मुझे समझ में आया मुझे क्या करना है. So Anurag was like, तू actor है, तू cues दे. You don't do anything else. But of course I learned so much from Anurag, and just being on set, being on the other side of the camera also, teaches you so much, because before that I'd only been in front of the camera, working on Makdi and Iqbal and the other projects that I had done. So Phantom was great. Also understanding the journey from script to screen. हम office में We used to watch a lot of films. We used to read the script, then we used to watch the film, then we used to do the watch the making of the film, and we used to do a lot of discussion. तो वो सारे exercises मैं आज भी करती हूँ. I read a lot of screenplays. अगर मुझे कोई film बहुत पसंद है तो मैं उसकी screenplay पढ़ती हूँ. A lot of screenplays are available online. If you type any film that you want to, that you've liked, check out their PDFs. वो available होगा. All you have to do is click. It will require a lot of discipline, but then read the script, watch the film, watch the interviews and making related to it. If you're serious about filmmaking, if you're serious about writing or acting or anything to do with films, or if you just want to understand as an audience how it happens. In fact, I watched 12 Years of Slave after I read the screenplay, and I realized it was written in a linear form. And it was non-linear? No, it was linear. It was written in a non-linear form, one of the two.
I mean, the film, I don't remember. Do you guys remember? If the film was non-linear.
It was non-linear, right? Yeah, so 12 Years of Slave was non-linear, but the screenplay that I read was linear, and there were so many scenes that, you know, it was itna deeply impact tha uska just to read it on page, and then you are just interested to see कि actor ने क्या किया होगा, इसको कैसे treat किया होगा.
Correct.
So it makes a huge difference. तो वो exercise Phantom Films में हम सब करते थे, and it's something that I still follow. In fact, I was in New York attending the New York Indian Film Festival for my short film retake.
Yes.
And
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much. और वहाँ पर screenplays बिक रहे थे. New York में बकायदा there are stalls where you get so many screenplays, like bound copies of screenplays. So I picked up Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I read it and I watched the film again, and I just fell in love with the film all over again.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a difference. In fact, that is also it helped me write very well. I wrote the story, screenplay and dialogues for my short film retake, and it helped me greatly because I understood how screenplays, I think the more screenplays you read, and the more films you watch after you've read it, it does make a difference. I mean, so much more to learn and a long way to go, but it's a great start.
So many people who want to be filmmakers, I think immediately when they think about starting a career in filmmaking, I think they think about just ADing.
Yeah.
But there are so many other profiles
as well, right? Of
course,
I think ADing teaches you a lot to be on set.
Correct.
And it teaches you a lot of production work, more than the creative work, because आपका काम है काम करना, and you know your work is to just make sure the जो भी उस दिन scenes है वो complete हो जाए, to make sure that the props are there, the costumes there, calling the actors, doing things. Of course, it's a great learning, and I recommend everybody to AD or even to work as a production assistant, to be in production, to anyway just be on set. I think set पे रहना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Or if you like photography, assist a cinematographer, be an AC on set, even that would work greatly. Or be a DA, which is a director's assistant, which would be very, very helpful. But I think a lot of it would be your personal exercises that you do, like these, you know, to attend workshops of screenwriting, on filmmaking, to watch film making of films, or to read screenplays. I think these would add greatly to that existing experience of being an AD.
What has, now you've made your own film, you've also produced the film yourself?
So it's produced by Applause Entertainment, and I did the line production. So yeah, so it was co-produced by both of us.
Alright. Yeah. So what has, now that you've made a film, what has that experience taught you about the business of cinema, about filmmaking, something that you only realized after making your own film?
Interesting. I think what it taught me greatly was, it was something I was discussing with a filmmaker friend also. It taught me about what a responsible job it is. And you know, I was thinking when I was writing the script, or when I was writing the dialogues, or the way I was treating it, and I was thinking, even if 100 people watched this film and it impacted 5 of them, it would impact them. And I want to make sure that any word that I say, any kind of emotions, because cinema is based on feelings, as technical as it is, whatever it looks like, whatever the actors are wearing, whatever the sets are, it's based on feelings. And if you're not feeling it here as an audience, it's not working. So I think that was my greatest takeaway as a filmmaker, or the, you know, after directing something, that I'm going to impact somebody not as an actor through crying or laughing or saying the lines,
Correct.
and you know, with that, but also through my lens and through the actors and what they are going to say.
Yeah.
So just that was a huge takeaway, and also it's so much work, and I loved it. You know, not one day that I felt tired. Even the post production, I really enjoyed it. I had a great time working with Aarti Bajaj, who's edited the film. I had so much to learn from Aarti. I sat on the mixing for the sound mix with Rasool Pukati, who's done the sound design for my film.
वाओ यार, मतलब
And-
क्या
Yeah,
मतलब ये तो अलग ही लेवल का कुछ एकदम ऑस्कर विनिंग
so no, I've known Rasool for a very long time, and they've all obviously come on board because they loved the script.
Yeah, sure.
And they wanted to be part of it, and they're also friends, so I could ask. But it was great. I had so much to learn from Rasool Pukati and his team when he was
Yeah.
working on the sound design of Retake. So much to learn from Anupam Kher, who's
Yeah.
acted in my film. I mean, what an actor! And after so many years of working as an actor, I mean, from Saransh, you know,
yeah.
he was 29, 30 years old when he played a 60-plus man in that Mahesh Bhatt film, and to, you know, he's still so hungry, and he would so punctual. मतलब एक दो बार तो मुझे ऐसा लगा यार ready है कि नहीं हम, मतलब ये तू time से पहले आ गया, and he was ready with his costume and everything, and to make him even sit for 5 minutes, I was feeling like he's so senior, but so childlike, and you know, at heart his energy is so infectious, you know. It was amazing. So बहुत मजा आया इन सबके साथ काम करके. Ram Sampath has done the music for my film.
यार
So-
मतलब ये तो it keeps on getting better honestly.
So again, like, you know, like, yeah, I got really lucky with the actors and the technical team, and I'm really grateful to all of them that they came on board to be part of the film, and they've all made it their film. You know, none of them, not Rasool, not Anupam sir, not Zarina Wahab, not Rasool Pukati, not Aarti, not Ram Sampath, none of them treated it like a short film, or, you know, it's like, first time filmmaker hai, let's do it for her. It was not like that. They actually took it up like a project.
Nice.
And you know, that's why they are who they are, because they don't take their work lightly at all. And like, I remember हम जब pre-mix पे बैठे थे, and I came home and Rasool called me up at 8:30 or something. I think we packed up at 6, 7, and he said, listen, don't send it to the lab yet. Are you happy? I said, yeah, I'm very happy, because I had made few notes, but I mean, वो मैंने notes बहुत ही humbly अंदर रख लिया था, because Rasool and his team had done just so much more already, and they were just, I came and I saw, and I was like, wow, it's way beyond what I had thought. And he said, are you happy with it? I said, I'm very happy, sir. What do you mean? He said, no, can we sit on the mix one more time? I think we can just थोड़ा सा उसको better कर सकते हैं. And after we finished the call, and I'm thinking, this man who won the BAFTA Academy for Slumdog Millionaire and has worked on so many great projects, you know, Gajni
Yeah.
and Highway and God knows what not. He just wanted to, when we sat the next day, हम 2 घंटे के लिए बैठे, and there was these few shots, few frames जहाँ पर उनको बस हल्का सा change करना था, and he said, now it's perfect.
Nice.
And I was like, maestro at work, you know. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Wow. And what about just the business aspect of cinema? I mean, because I've been just researching production because I want to get into it as well, and I have so many producer friends, and there is so much that goes into it, right? Like,
Right.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
And also just the business aspect, especially short films,
Right.
because short films around the world right now, it is one of the most challenging things, even though it is also one of the most common.
Yeah.
Because the first thing that any filmmaker thinks about is a short film.
Correct.
But at the same time, it is one of the most difficult things to sell,
Yeah.
right? So just that aspect of it, just pitching your film, selling your film. If you had to just talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, it was difficult to get this together. In fact, the first short film that I had co-produced was Interior Cafe Night, which was
Oh,
directed
yes.
by Adhiraj Bose, and
Yeah, of course.
Nasir uncle was in it. It was with Nasiruddin Shah and Shanaz Patel, Naveen, and
Yes.
in fact I acted in it and I didn't want to act in it, but Adhiraj was like, "Are you crazy? I'm directing something, you're producing it, you have to act in it." And around that time I was working at Phantom, so as I told you, acting had taken a
Right.
back seat then. So I think even when we were making Interior Cafe Night, I think there are platforms that do where you can sell your short films and you do get the money. But of course, short films are usually seen as an experiment, and because it costs less, it's less number of days, but it also, because it's the same number of departments, so you also get an exposure to what it is. You get a taste of filmmaking through a short film, but it's still business. It's still, there is an investment and there should be a return to that
Correct.
that investment. So of course, even when I was pitching Retake, Applause was like, we don't make short films, and
Yeah.
we've never done it. So I had to put a PPT together, and 11th 12th commerce came handy, and all the business studies and entrepreneurship classes came handy.
Nice.
And so yeah, I put a PPT together. Anupam Kher sir was already on board, which helped greatly, and
Right.
Applause has been a great support, to be able to give their resources and their production, and just to know that Applause Entertainment is backing you really helps a lot. And I hope this is first in many. And when I spoke to Sameer Nair or Deepak Sehgal, they said that they would also, they're stepping into this market for the first time, and they would see how it goes, and if it goes well, they might produce more. So I think it's great that
Yeah.
there are brilliant producers like Sameer Nair who are foresighted enough to see that there is a scope in that market, and it would, if nothing, it'll help you discover so many more writers, actors, technicians, filmmakers. So I'm very, very grateful to them for the opportunity. Yes, selling it is a challenge. Sending it to festivals, a lot of film festivals have sales agents, and there is a market. I haven't reached there with Retake yet.
Correct.
I didn't have to, but I think एक जनरल हमारे देश में फिल्म फेस्टिवल्स को लेकर, शॉर्ट फिल्म्स को लेकर, डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज को लेकर एक वो है that ये it's not cinema, it's not main films, it's something that you do as an experiment, which is, it's incorrect. I wouldn't say it's wrong, but I don't know if it's right at the same time, because it is still business. It's still a model, right? It's still a business model. And I think that's just lack of exposure. Like मैं आपको एक किस्सा सुनाती हूँ. इस साल जब Academy Awards हो रहा था, I was asked to come on this news channel as a panel to speak about the films, and we had 3 nominations. We had All That Breathes, the brilliant documentary by Shaunak Sen, and we had RRR, which won the Academy for Best Song, and Elephant Whisperers, which also won the Academy. And the reporter who was, and this is a very, very popular news channel, and the question she asked me was, do you think it's because of RRR that Elephant Whisperers and All That Breathes is nominated?
How ridiculous.
And I just didn't know how to answer. मुझे पता ही नहीं था मैं क्या बोलूँ इस पे, मतलब क्या ही बोलूँ मैं इस पे. And I'm like, have you seen these films? And I don't know. I still don't know what to say.
She hadn't seen them?
I don't think so, because All That Breathes won at
वो तो I'm
Cannes.
sure से RRR भी नहीं देखी होगी फिल्म.
And all these films have won at so many festivals, but the problem is हम सिर्फ red carpet cover करते हैं festivals पे, तो आपको कैसे पता होगा audience को कि कौन सी film जीत रही है इंडिया से? आप तो so anyway.
यार controversial सवाल पूछ सकता हूँ एक?
Please go for it.
What do you feel about the circus that's become of Cannes lately?
It's ridiculous.
Right?
It's ridiculous, and it's really sad that as a country we only talk about the fashion there. I do understand that Cannes Film Festivals में बहुत सारा there's a sponsorship involved, and there are big luxury brands that sponsor the red carpet and sponsor the celebrities, but there needs to be a balance. please cover the fashion, please cover the red carpet, please cover the makeup, and किसने क्या पहना, किसने क्या बोला, बहुत सही कर रहे हो, but it's a film festival. It's a film festival. And I don't think we even forget दूसरे देश के कौन से फिल्म्स आए हैं, किसने क्या जीता है. I don't think हम अपनी फिल्मों को भी कवर करते हैं. इस साल हमारी 4 फिल्में थी. We had the Manipuri film from the 1990s, Ishanu. And we had Kennedy, we had Agra, and we had one more film, a short film that was made by FTI students.
Oh yes,
right?
yes. You're right.
I don't know how many people know about this. I have no idea.
बहुत सारे लोगों को कैनेडी भी नहीं पता होगा यार, अनुराग कश्यप की फिल्में लोगों को फिर भी नहीं पता होगा.
ये और इस बार भी even in fact TIFF also there are so many Indian films that are playing.
TIFF में तो बहुत
सारी गई हैं, and congratulations to all the teams and all the makers, but I don't think we cover films. And मैं ये नहीं कह रही हूँ कि फैशन मत कवर कीजिए या you know there is an association with glamour with actors or with cinema. Okay, fine, great. But it is a film festival. You have to talk about the films, and I think the coverage is a problem, because after that 100%. The question you asked is it because of RRR, Elephant Whisperers, and All That Breathes is nominated?
All That Breathes had won the best documentary award at Cannes. Like, that is for a lot of people.
But they did not walk the red carpet.
कान का रेड कार्पेट तो चले ही था फिर भी मतलब.
But Shaunak Sen did not. I don't know if he walked the red carpet. Shit, Shaunak.
So ridiculous, yaar.
So yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I have no idea how it'll change. मतलब क्योंकि अगर अब चेंज नहीं हुआ जब ये वाली फिल्में अवार्ड्स जीत रही हैं, क्योंकि पहले तो फिर भी वो चीज़ नहीं हो रही थी.
इंडिया में I think बहुत सालों से अवार्ड्स जीत रही हैं. It's not.
Cannes we had a very bad dry spell for a lot of years.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's not possible that you win every year, but how many people know that the maker of Triangle of Sadness was the head of jury this year at Cannes Film Festivals? Or have you seen his other film Square? Have you seen Force Majeure, which I think is a brilliant film that
one of my favorites.
Yeah. So yeah, I think a basic education, basic knowledge is missing, and I think media covers one aspect of it. So I think it needs to slowly change. I think all that needs to slowly change, and I know we are all speaking in a critical voice, but I think somebody has to speak about this. I think somebody has 100%. To speak about this, because it's very sad that a lot of film journalists talk about red carpet at Cannes Film Festival or at other film festivals, and when you see film pages doing that, you don't know what to do.
You know, I also do feel like जो अभी Instagram पे ऐसे film pages वगैरह start हुए हैं और ये सब चीज़ें start हुई हैं ना, I do feel like all of that has started because people had so much angst against the film journalism that was happening ना, कि लोगों को लगा यार चीज़ें अपने हाथ में लेनी पड़ेंगी तो अपने आप करते हैं.
I mean, I'm glad if that's happening, and if people are following and people are engaging, it's great. At least there's a dialogue that has started. It's going to take time. But I think OTT has also helped a lot, because a lot of people are exposed to so many kinds of films. Correct. And so many, you know, a lot of people watch a lot of films that are at festival, and I do know ऐसा नहीं है कि लोग बिल्कुल नहीं देखते हैं, उनको पता नहीं. In fact, if you read comments, a lot of people in fact don't like it that you're not covering the films at film festivals. A lot of people are like, we want to know about the films. तो वही बात आ जाती है ना कि आप ऑडियंस को नहीं बोल सकते कि उनको तो ये देखना है, आपको दिखाना नहीं है. आपको क्योंकि पता ही नहीं है, आपको खुद ही नहीं पता आप क्या कर रहे हो.
फैशन से मिलेंगे ना.
I don't think so. अगर आप 5 आर्टिकल्स कर रहे हो किसी फेस्टिवल के बारे में, 2 आर्टिकल तो फिल्म्स के बारे में करो.
Correct.
और बट दैट विल कम ओनली फ्रॉम रिस्पॉन्सिबल जर्नलिज्म. वो अगर आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, आपको खुद इंटरेस्ट है तो आप करोगे. अगर आपकी और मेरी इंटरेस्ट कहीं और होगी तो हम वो कवर करेंगे, जहाँ इंटरेस्ट है वो कवर करेंगे. इफ आई हैड टू मिन्स माय वर्ड्स टुडे अबाउट फेस्टिवल्स, आई वुड हैव सेड no, I love but no, I'm not. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Okay, I just have to ask one more question. Because you did the actors on actors thing, I want to ask you. What is that one performance for you, or that one actor for you, that for you is just the gold standard of acting?
Oh my God, that's so hard.
I know.
That's just very, very difficult.
Or if you have a couple of them.
Yeah. Can I say 5?
Of course. मेरे को जितना content मिले उतना बढ़िया.
If I have to say 5 actors who I think they are the gold standard of acting, for me I think currently definitely amongst contemporary actors जो इस वक्त इंडिया में है, number one would be Fahad Fasil. I absolutely love his performances. I love the films जो वो produce करते हैं, जिसमें वो act करते हैं, and even the way he carries himself. I love that he's not on social media.
Yeah.
He's pure actor. He's an artist, and I love and respect that. Second would be, I'm a huge Dilip Kumar fan. Like a huge Dilip Kumar fan. मुझे उनकी फिल्में बहुत पसंद है. Like right from his earliest works to Mughal Azam to everything that I've seen, मुझे बहुत पसंद है. Naya Daur, in fact, is one of my favorite films. It's amazing how Naya Daur reminds you of Lagan. Like there's so many you can see.
Yeah.
So much.
So many parallels.
Yeah, like you can see a lot of Jab We Met and Millie.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot. So Fahad Fasil, Dilip Kumar. I'm a huge Smita Patil fan. I think she's again as an actor, and she spoke for the cause. She used to also speak so highly of the craft. She used to speak about the films, and again the choices that she made were amazing. Internationally, I think I'm a huge fan of Anthony Hopkins. I really like his works. I love his works. And one more actor, if I have to name, would be Om Puri. I'm a huge Om Puri fan. I think,
nice.
Yeah. Unki again, the kind of choices he made, the films he did, his performances, even in like few scenes in Sparsh was like just. There's all. I mean, of course, there's also Nasiruddin Shah. There's also Irfan Khan. There's also so many more actors. There's also Lea Sidhu. There's also so many French actors and American actors and British actors that I'm a fan of. And I'm really bad with names, and you know that. A lot of them are like just, I can see the faces, I can see the performances. But also like, also Balraj Sahni, also Shabana ji, lot of actors. I think, I think it's very fulfilling. It's like almost like a good meal when you watch a good performance. When you watch a great film with great performance, it's almost like it was a great meal. Yeah.
Are you a Ranbir Kapoor fan as well?
I do like Ranbir Kapoor's, a lot of his performances. I love Wake Up Said, Rocket Singh. I liked Rajneeti a lot. Yeah. You're a Ranbir Kapoor fan?
No. Yeah. as in I am a fan, I'm not crazy about him. Like अगर मैं fan हूँ तो मैं शाहरुख खान का हूँ. लेकिन अब तुमने शाहरुख खान का नाम नहीं लिया लेकिन.
हाँ, Shahrukh Khan. I'm a huge fan of Shahrukh Khan, but not on my top 5 favorite actors.
Oh, okay. That is one. That is a bite right there. The ending question that I always have, very different from the conversation that we have had until now. Okay. But what does happiness mean to you?
What does happiness mean to me? Oh, wow. Lot of things. I think happiness could be being at peace, I think, mostly. I think if I can have a very hectic day at work and running around and still come back home and feel good about it and not be tired of it, that's happiness. Happiness is spending time with my mom over a cup of coffee, discussing movies, watching a film with her. I love watching birds. I love listening to birds. So it's my go-to happiness. Happiness is playing my sitar, practicing my sitar, watching films, lot of things, but mostly being at peace. Yeah. Nice. I'm usually I'm the kind of person who listens to music and dances alone at home. So.
Wow. Yeah. Chalo, on that note.
Thank you.
I don't know why I said on that note. It's not like we're dancing. but thank you so much, Shweta. This was so much fun.
Thanks so much.
And yeah, let's hopefully sit again, talk about films whenever 100%. We can. And I hope that you had a good time.
I did. Thank you so much for good questions. I think a lot of healthy discussions also happen because of good questions. Thank you for asking the questions, and I'm so glad that the kind of work all of you are doing, it's really commendable, and people who are watching, who engage on your page, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. One of them.
So thanks so much, Shweta. And yeah, guys, this was Shweta Basu Prasad on the Human Cinema podcast, and this is signing off.
Yay, thank you.